People with intellectual and developmental disabilities want a life like everybody else. They want an opportunity to live, work, and thrive. They want a job where they can contribute and have a paycheck. They want a job that is meaningful, where they belong and where their gifts and talents are highlighted. They want to live in a home that they choose, with a roommate they want to live with, and in communities where they belong. They want to grow and develop just like everyone else. They want to continue to learn new skills and explore new hobbies and pastimes. The over 200 men and women that work at SEEC support that reality for people with disabilities to live, work, and thrive as members of their community.
So I think probably the biggest apprehension about hiring somebody with a differing ability is can they do the job? Is it going to require more time to get that person up to speed? And because of SEEC's help and the coaches that are available that come in and work with these individuals, that's really not been an issue.
You can never compare anything to the benefits that you get from having these kids in your team. They will reinvigorate your staff. They will come in and do the hard work that's required, and they'll really just bring you so much joy.
SEEC has been very, very supportive with giving not only Kaijin, but the SEEC employees resources in order to be successful at the job. I think if you are interested as a company, just reach out, ask those questions, build a foundation. SEEC will give you whatever you need.
He gets here on time every single day at the same time, if not even earlier. He's really able to manage his time effectively. Steven's just really good with people. He really likes to, make sure that everyone likes him, enjoys his presence.
I love the people I work with. I love my life.
There are many advantages to being an employer partner of SEEC, like pre-screened candidates, higher retention rates, improved efficiency, and positive workplace culture. Learn how SEEC can help your diversity and inclusion goals by visiting us at seekonline.org.
SEEC works very closely with our employer partners to ensure success for all parties. We aim to be a trusted partner, helping businesses through their recovery, utilizing the gifts and talents of this untapped workforce. SEEC's employment services and transition teams support well over 200 men and women with complex disabilities to not only find work, but launch careers. We provide what I like to call customized, entry-level staffing solutions with pre-screened, qualified and committed job seekers who possess different abilities. We work with federal agencies from the SEC to the Smithsonian, with local agencies from Montgomery County to the state of Maryland, from retailers to restaurants, hotels to hospitals, and lawyers to labs. We work with businesses of all shapes and sizes, from single-owner LLCs all the way up to 30,000 strong NIH. As a recovering engineer, I love data. Some of you know that about me. I like numbers. So let me show you a couple of numbers here. So that number, 20% of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities have jobs. That's woefully below the typical employment rate, and something we need to change. And that's what every one of you do here, every one of you inclusive champions work towards. 75, that's pretty bad, right? 75% is the employment rate of SEEC job seekers. It's four times what the national average is. And then lastly, it seems like a small number, I went wrong over here. But this is $3 million. The accumulated income of job seekers of SEEC every single year is $3 million. Good back in the local economy. So good work to everybody, great work to the job seekers and the employers. So a couple of numbers. Well, we did talk about this idea of disability being part of the equation, so I thought I'd share an equation with you. Again, I'm a recovering engineer and a math nerd. So this is the wrong equation. So this is the Schrodinger's equation for those of you who can do equations. This isn't the right equation. So I came up with a much simpler version of the equation. So what I think is the most important piece, or the most important part of an equation, is that first factor, which is employers. We wouldn't be anywhere without the amazing employer partners that we have, providing opportunities and working with us. But you also need employees, right? You need great employees who are well matched, who are connected and part of that culture to make the change. And with that, you get success, right? That works for people with disabilities or without disabilities. But what makes the difference, I think, is SEEC and other vocational providers, providing support to both the employers and the employees to make a successful relationship. And I think that's what we're celebrating today and celebrate going forward. So it's a simpler equation, but I think this is the right equation going forward. Okay. So, moving on, we are going to move on to our speakers part of the morning. And we're going to start off with a few words, kind remarks from the Maryland Department of Disabilities. Normally we have Harold Bailey, the Secretary of the Department of Disabilities, here to say a few words. Unfortunately, changing administration and a son that's getting married, she has some other priorities going on. But we have a few words here from the Deputy Secretary, John Brennan. Please take it away.
Happy Ndeam Month and congratulations to all the deserving award winners today. My name is John Brennan and I'm the Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Maryland Department of Disabilities. It's my pleasure to share a few words on behalf of the Hogan administration about the importance of National Disability Employment Awareness Month. As we now celebrate the 77th anniversary of this milestone month, I'm struck by how much progress we have made to include people with disabilities into the workforce, and also by how far we still have to go. Organizations such as SEEC are pushing the envelope of inclusion and diversity for employers, small and large, across Montgomery County, Maryland, and the District of Columbia. However, every vocational provider recognizes they could not do what they do if it wasn't for amazing employer partners such as the ones being recognized today. Companies across the state of Maryland are embracing the committed, talented, and driven workforce with disabilities as being a vital part of the equation for the diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. As we all emerge from this pandemic and as employers start to ramp back up, we know there are more openings for workers. People with disabilities have always been there to fill these gaps and more than ever are ready to join the Maryland workforce and make a difference. Thanks to your dedicated partnerships with employment providers, we will ensure all Marylanders with disabilities have a brighter future with good jobs and careers.
So next up is a very dear special friend of mine, Christian Navarro, who just walked up here, and he is going to introduce our next speaker. Let me give you the microphone.
Mark Corman was first elected to the Maryland House of Delegates in 2014. During his time in the legislature, he has written and supported bills ensuring adequate education funding, improving conditions for Maryland workers, and enhancing the quality of public transportation. I first met Mark during a visit to Annapolis for Advocacy Day. He shared with me that there was an opportunity to sit on the Metro Accessibility Advisory Committee to ensure that Metro is respecting riders with special needs. He encouraged and supported me in applying. Mark has met with SEEC several times, connected us to potential employers. We are grateful to him for all of this. Mark and his staff go above and beyond for his constituents, helping to better their lives in a variety of ways. When he's not busy in his role as a delegate, he works for a law firm in Washington, D.C. They have hired 2 of our workers who are having a fabulous experience. Please welcome the wonderful delegate, Mark Corman.
If I was advising myself politically, I would just say sit down after that nice introduction. Thank you, Christian. I'm Mark Corman. I'm a state delegate from District 16, which is the Bethesda area. I also chair the Subcommittee on Environment and Transportation Appropriations, so I spend a lot of time on metro issues, and Christian was really helpful in opening my eyes to a lot of the challenges with paratransit for a lot of the employers and others in the room. The metro system is the rail system or maybe the bus network, but for many others in this room, it's paratransit. And in an age of on-demand Uber and GPS tracking, Metro Access operates more like I hate to say this because I'm from that era also, but a 1980s transportation system, and we can certainly do better in 2022. Our recovering engineer gave some great statistics. I'm just a lawyer who diligently avoided math classes, but as a policymaker, I am supposed to think about the statistics he shared, maybe not that equation, the first one. But I think about the stat that somewhere between 58 and 75% of those with autism, which is a huge range of people who are adults, are unemployed or underemployed. And when you look at that more closely, there's even more sort of concerning statistics. For example, the high number of those in their early 20s who haven't gotten a first job yet. And we know that first job is so important to learn the habits of a workplace. So as a policymaker, I think about those big statistics. As a father, I think about the stat of 1, which is my son who goes to Ivy Mount. There's an Ivy Mount contingent somewhere. Yep. I think about the stat of 1. My son is about to turn 11. He's now up to here. I was telling someone he looks in the mirror in the morning and swears a mustache is coming in. So, before I know it, he's going to be out in the workforce looking for employment. So I'm just so glad that there's employers like those in this room and organizations like SEEC that will be there to assist him if he needs that navigation. So really appreciate all the work you do. Congratulations to the employers here this morning, as well as the employees and all the great folks working for this organization, and look forward to supporting you all for years to come. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mark. In 10 years' time, we'll be there for you when he transitions out of school. So, great. So we have our keynote speaker up next, and he's a dear friend of mine, Jed Seifert, and his brother are going to come up. I've known Jed for about 6 or 7 years, and about 5 years ago at this event, we weren't here, we were at United Therapeutics, but at this event, his brother won one of the Janet Alvandi Employment Awards. And I know seeing Jed so moved that his brother had this accomplishment and achieved so much, it has moved him. And he has now become an active member of our Business Advisory Council. He's become a board member. But his biggest and proudest accomplishment, and I know he's going to tell us more, is the movement he's made with his own firm, Stakes Manufacturing in Ohio. So come on up, Jed and Darren.
Yeah, it's a microphone. Dan, they can't hear you without the microphone.
Been for 20 years. Representing with Fed Fed's great concern. And this my brother Jed.
Thank you, everybody. So 20 years ago, my brother got a job in the mail room at the Securities Exchange Commission. It changed his life. Gave him the freedom and independence to move out of my parents' house, pay his own bills, find work happiness, purpose, fulfillment, work friends. And it didn't just change his life, it changed my family's life. Anybody who's got somebody in their family with disabilities, we spend most of our lives wondering what's going to happen after we're gone and who's going to support them. SEEC's empowered my brother to be able to support himself. As Steve mentioned, 5 years ago, I came to this event and Darren won Employee of the Year. And I was touched by the moment. I realized how important it was, the mission of SEEC, and realized that I wanted to get involved and I wanted to do more. Steve came up to me right after I gave actually Steve asked me to do an impromptu speech. And then right after it asked me to, right after it asked me to join the Business Advisory Council, where I got to meet with local leaders and local companies like the folks in this room who are doing incredible work. And I was so proud to be a part of that organization and realized I had to do more. So in 2019, we started our company, Steaks Manufacturing. And when we started the company, our first initiative was to make sure that we were going to be an inclusive hiring business. We set out with a 3-year plan. Year 1 was going to be hire people with disabilities by any means necessary. Year 2 was going to be make sure that we fine-tuned a relationship with an organization like SEEC, because my company actually is in Cleveland, Ohio. And finding a company as great as SEEC is almost impossible. So we set out on our journey. It was an incredible journey. We started by putting in our ads, telling people that we hired people of all abilities. And we started getting some incredible applicants. I'll never forget one of the first people we hired, a lady named Rachel, a lady with cerebral palsy in a wheelchair. She started working with us, folding t-shirts. She was one of the slowest folders we had, but we had to get her started. And week 1, I sat down with her after week 1 and I said to her, hey, tell me your story. Turns out Rachel had a degree in cybersecurity from a major university. So I said, well, what the heck are you doing folding t-shirts here? So she was like, well, nobody will give me a chance. All they see is my wheelchair. All they see is that it's hard to understand me speak, and nobody give me a chance. So we decided we were going to change that immediately. Got our CTO involved, reorganized, moved her from folding t-shirts to now she does all of our inventory audits and reporting, and she's in front of a computer where she shines. You know, I think that what's really important about what SEEC does is it's individual employment. It's tailoring the employment to the individual. It's not just saying, hey, UPS has 20 openings, let's just shove 20 people into that. It's finding what the individual wants to pursue, what's going to make them happy. So we started to expand the program at our business. We continued to try to find a SEEC. It took us a while. It was a bit of a struggle. We started in our warehouse. You see, we talk about the print industry. A lot of the stuff in our building is repetition. A lot of high-skilled repetition and low-skilled repetition. So I always thought it was going to be a perfect fit. And when I started working with SEEC and joined the Business Advisory Council and joined the Board of Directors, what I found striking was we had hundreds of individuals with jobs, but none in my industry. The print industry seemed to be such a natural progression, seemed to be so obvious, but nobody was doing it. So that's when I really wanted to set out to change that. And that was part of the 3-year mission. So year 1, as I mentioned, was to hire by any means necessary. Year 2 was to partner with some local organizations, which is exactly what we did. So we partnered with an organization called CVEC. We set up a school-to-work transition program. I learned this model working with SEEC on their Project Search. We started with having 6 interns a semester who came for 2 hours a day. We're assigned a mentor with the goal to become independent workers by the end of the semester. And if they wanted full-time employment and it was the right fit, potentially getting that full-time employment at the end of the semester. The program was a huge success. Today, our 3rd best warehouse employee out of 50 is a graduate from that program, and that's simply based off of speed and accuracy. We started in our warehouse department because we thought we had the right buy-in from the right manager and it was going to set it up. And I think that that's important. I think communication with your company when you roll out this initiative is extraordinarily important because you need buy-in and support. So we started in the warehouse, and on day 1, I told our warehouse manager, if this ever impacts your ability to do your job and hit your numbers, you got to come tell me. Because we're running a business here at the end of the day. This is not charity. And if you hire people with disabilities for charity, it's going to be short-lived. We're talking about meaningful employment, mutually beneficial employment, holding your employees to real standards. He said he understood. About a month later, I went to that same manager. I said, hey, I just want to check in with you. And you got to be honest with me. I know you know this is my passion project. It's not even a project. This is the core of who we want to be as a business. Tell me, how is it impacting you? He looked at me and he said, hey, Jed, before this, I was just moving cotton around a warehouse. He said, I've never had a job I've cared about in my life. I just got up and pushed buttons, did my to-do list. Today, I feel like I'm changing lives. I feel like I have meaning and fulfillment. Fast forward a few months, I'm on the production floor, and I see a couple that I don't recognize. I go up to them and I say, hey, I'm Jed. This is my business. Nice to meet you. Who are you?
Any questions?
Oh, we're not there yet.
My birthday yesterday.
And Darren's birthday was yesterday, too. Let's clap it up for that. He's excited. So I went up to the couple and I asked them who they were. Turns out they were parents from one of our disabled employees. The mom started crying the second I started talking to her. She looked at me and she said, "Hey, that's not my son." I was like, what do you mean? She's like, "I've never seen him so focused, so attentive, so driven, and he's happy. Comes home from work excited. He goes to work excited." That was an emotional moment for me. I ended up crying too. There was waterworks all over the place. And that was the first moment that I really felt empowered. I felt empowered to be like, oh my God, I have the power to change an individual's life. I have the power to change more people's lives. And everybody in this room has that same power. I'm not special. Okay? It's all about just giving people a chance and making this a priority. So after we set up the school to work and transition program, we also found another organization, Deepwood, similar to SEEC, that we also started onboarding employees. We expanded beyond the warehouse because what was very important to me to get to year 3 of our plan, which was to scream it from the mountaintops and try to get the print industry to notice and start doing something different. And we started working to really expand to every department in our business, because what we wanted to do was create a case study, because all too often people pigeonhole people into disabilities with just low-skilled repetition tasks. That's not the case. Karen once corrected me. We're looking for high-skilled repetition. So we have individuals that are working on $1 million equipment. We have individuals that are shipping. Our 4th best shipper out of 40 is an individual with autism. He just comes in and goes to work. What we started to see at our business was pretty incredible. We thought we had set out to change the lives of the disabled individuals that were working for us, but the reality was we were actually changing the lives of our managers and employees far more than those individuals. It was teaching our employees empathy. It brought our team together. You know, we're not a small business, we're not a big business. We run between 250 to 300 employees. So to try to keep a family atmosphere in that, to keep it intimate, can be a difficult challenge. But the second we launched this, we started to see our teams come together and rally. People that had never spoken together were supporting each other. What we also started to see was people started to perform better. When you're getting your butt kicked in your performance KPIs by somebody who's got so many challenges, it's really hard to come to work and be lazy. So we saw cultural improvements. We saw a true ROI. And again, this wasn't about charity. This is about meaningful employment that changed our company culture. It went from an idea and a vision to the fabric of our business and the core of who we are. People walk into our facility and they're blown away because it's unlike any other manufacturing facility, and you can feel it the second you walk in. That culture that we've built by disability inclusion is one of the proudest things I've ever done. This past year, in June, APSE, the National Disability Employment Service Provider Trade Organization, named our company National Employer of the Year. My brother Darren got to come out there and see us accept the award. It was one of those beautiful life moments that 5 years ago, him getting Employee of the Year inspired me to do all this, and then he got to be there for me to get Employer of the Year. It really was just a beautiful, beautiful life moment. And we're on year 3 of our mission. Year 3 is to scream it from the mountaintops and create industry-wide change in the print industry. And it's already started. We had a bunch of organizations from Spectrum News to the Apparelist and a lot of print industry, huge publications that did stories on us and videos. Started doing speaking engagements. Just last week, on Thursday, Darren joined me on stage in front of even more people than this. Bright lights, 10 different some odd cameras. And I was joined by 5 industry leaders in the print industry, some of which who were competitors. A couple of them had already had programs when I met them. A few of them heard what we were doing at SEEC and said, hey, we got to get involved. Within a few months, we started to pick up momentum. We had some of the largest organizations in the print industry deciding this was something that they needed to do. Not just because it was the right thing to do, but because of all the benefits that come from it. And let's also be frank, it's impossible to hire right now. Everybody in my industry and most industry is having incredible challenges finding employees. Yet we have this amazing untapped workforce that's ready to go to work, be happy, and be some of your best employees. I mean, seeing these numbers of the unemployment rate is striking. And what we're here for and why this month is here and why we celebrate this is to change that. And we've continued our journey. And right now what we're trying to do is help everybody in the print industry get programs started and find SEECs in their local area. And that's just the beginning. We want to go beyond that. The print industry is just supposed to be a case study so that we can showcase how an industry can unite together to create change and do it impactfully and quickly. What we'd also like to do is leverage our success there to help SEEC. There's a ton of printers in the DC metropolitan area. So we're going to start reaching out to them. We're going to show them how we've proved concept, all the jobs and all the success that we've had as a business, in hopes that we can lead them to do the same thing there. So when I sit here in front of you, I'm one of the most grateful people in the world. I'm grateful for SEEC changing my brother's life, and it's beyond him. Changed my family's life. It's beyond that. Changed the community's life. Darren went from a dependent, living at my parents' house, to an independent taxpayer, paying his own bills, putting money into the local economy, and being a vital part of his organization. I'm so appreciative for everything that SEEC has done, and I'm so appreciative for everybody in this room. If you're here, you care. If you're here, you're doing something. Whether you have an employee or not, whether you're just getting started or whether you're thinking about getting started, you've already made the decision to show up. And you've already made the decision that we need to make change, and we need to change people's lives, because everyone deserves to work. And everybody deserves freedom, independence, and their own pursuit of happiness. Thank you very much.
Well, we're done. You can all go home now. We're leaving on a high note. Woo! We're actually done with the speaking portion of the program today. I'm going to move on to the celebration. So this is fantastic. But before I do that and hand it over to Pam and Katie and the team, I just have to say a big, big thank you to our Ndeam Planning Committee. Katie Barrett, where are you? Standing up in the back. Pam Toole here in the front. Katie Smeltz. Katrina in the back. Nancy Eby over here, and Tona taking pictures over here. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you. All right, Pam and Katie, come on up.
Okay, I got it. I got to demask a little bit. Well, thank you, Jed. I think you said it all. And I don't know what we can say now. It's more astute than that. But now we move into our kind of favorite part of the program. Even though the speakers have been fabulous, this is our award ceremony. This is why we're here today. So we're really eager to get started on that. Before I do, I want to echo Jed's sentiment and thank each and every one of you who are here today. Because of your focus, your commitment, your advocacy, we can't do the work we do to help people with disabilities live, work, and thrive. So a big thank you to all of you. Now, because SEEC has so many avid supporters, Each category of our awards has not only an award category winner, but we have certificates of recognition within each category because we have so many people to thank. So, our first award, let me get my checking pens, excuse me. Our first award is the Ambassador Award, and this is, all of you are ambassadors, by the way, so we thank you for that. The Ambassador Award goes to someone who has demonstrated a heightened commitment in the past year to representing SEEC and our employment efforts in the community. The Ambassador Awardee champions networking on behalf of SEEC, helps SEEC's staff identify new leads, and conveys SEEC's mission to the greater business community. This award this year goes to someone who came to SEEC as a volunteer in 2018. Having recently retired from Lockheed Martin, she brought a wealth of professional experience to SEEC's mock interviews and job clubs. Her initial experiences volunteering with SEEC turned her on to the incredible workforce talent that SEEC-supported people provide to employers. Since that time, she joined the Business Advisory Council, where she consistently contributes valuable insights. And she seems to pound the pavement to bring employer outreach team leads and connections whenever possible. Amy Lowenstein, can you come on down and get your award?
Thank you so much. This has been an incredible experience working with SEEC. I'm truly honored and delighted for the recognition of the efforts that I've had to support people that are supported by SEEC. Several years ago, as Pam mentioned, I was looking for volunteer opportunities and I spotted that SEEC needed mock interviewers. Who knew that this would begin a rewarding partnership with SEEC in the employment services arena? The employment services staff and entire SEEC community has a wonderful knack for getting others energized about the great work being done by SEEC. I'm always impressed by how the staff provides informal education, engages volunteers, does incredible fundraising, and takes input from others on ways to further enhance services. Again, thank you for welcoming me to the SEEC community and the SEEC family and recognizing me with the Ambassador Award.
As I said, SEEC has many ambassadors. We have a couple other people we'd like to recognize in this category today, both Venus Jordan and Philippa Channer. Thank you for your community efforts on behalf of SEEC.
Hi, my name is Katie Smeltz. I'm an employment outreach specialist with Pam in the EOT. The next award, and congratulations to all of you who just got the Ambassador Award. The next award is the Inclusion Award. This is for an employer who is a shining example of a diverse and inclusive workplace, one that makes everyone feel involved and supported in all areas. King Street Oyster Bar is the winner of this award. Mr. Rick. I'd like to say a few words about King Street. Mr. Rick Allison, the co-owner, is ill today, so Chris Riley is going to be accepting this award for him. I can't say enough wonderful things about King Street Oyster Bar. Every time we ask Mr. Allison to do something to support, to include us in their workforce, the answer is always yes. Sure, anytime, yes, of course. Mr. Allison has so many restaurants. He's so successful, and he's placed many of our interns, our employees, our job seekers in many of his restaurants. And I wanted to share a story about him. He, a long time ago, mentored a young man with autism who was doing very poorly in school, and he wanted to be a chef. So Mr. Allison at that time had time to mentor him. And this young man now is a chef at his own restaurant. And that experience made him want to have an inclusive and open workplace to all people with all abilities. And lastly, one of the young men here today told Mr. Allison, I don't really like the music that you play in your restaurant. And so Mr. Allison, without a beat, said, well, what kind of music do you like? And we'll play it next, because I want you to be comfortable here. And that is Mr. Allison and King Street Oyster Bar. They create such a wonderfully inclusive work environment. So thankfully, we have a huge team here today from King Street. I'd like to ask Willow Newman now to come up. She's from SEEC, and Justin and Nick.
Hi everybody, technology is our best friend, so I'll be using it today to read my few sentences. Next to me, I have Justin, raise your hand, wave, and Nick. They are both employees at King Street Oyster Bar, so now I'm going to read off of my phone. Hi everybody, my name is Willow Newman. I am currently a customized employment consultant here at SEEC. I am one of them. I am a part of the Employment Services Department. I have been lucky enough to have the opportunity to work and support Justin and Nick and work alongside Chris Riley at King Street Oyster Bar to make this relationship what it is today. This is the part about reading on the phone, you lose your spot. Mr. Chris Riley, King Street Oyster Bar, and Mr. Chris have created such a supportive environment for both Justin and Nick, as well as the others that have come there to do their internships. Chris, their manager, is providing opportunities for them to learn different tasks and is always making sure that they are happy and feel good on the job. Chris especially always makes it a point to keep up with what is going on in their lives because they are both super busy. So Chris really makes it a point to get to know them, not just as coworkers, but friends and buds. So now they each have a few words to say. So I think, Justin, you are first.
Okay.
You can introduce yourself if you want.
All right. My name's Justin Etherton. I work at King Street Oyster Bar.
Cool.
And I like coming into work and interacting with my coworkers and people there. We usually talk about lots of things like Star Wars and other stuff. Point is, I really like my job.
All right, scoot over here. All right, go ahead, Nick.
Hello, my name is Nick James Krause. Thank you, Mr. King Street, for giving me the chance to work in my chosen career. I love working in the food industry. I love my job.
All right, now together you guys can say. Now together we're all going to say, Mr. Chris, please come up and accept the award. So this is for Mr. Rick, and that's for you. I guess that's the box that goes in.
So I definitely know Rick really wishes that he could be here. I got the call this morning, unfortunately, we got a little case of the COVID, so we wanted to make sure that he stayed very clear of this room. So you have me, up next. He always tells me that when he can't step in, that he needs me to, make sure that we step up when we're available and ready. These guys have been great. I came into this company about a year ago. I got to meet Justin first. He was already employed with us. A few months later, we went through the whole employment process. got to meet with Willow, the rest of the team here. Did the whole applicant interview. Nicholas came on. We did a small internship that quickly turned into a paid role with our company, and he's now one of our full-time employees, working 3 days a week. He has same tasks that my constant staff has. They both just been really great. Didn't really have anything prepared here, so I will wrap it up before I just ramble on. But I just thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Congratulations. We would also like to congratulate the fabulous Chef Jake at Joe's Seafood on his certificate for being a truly inclusive workplace as well. He cares so much and is such an outstanding person as well as an outstanding boss. I don't know if he's here today. I don't know if he made it, but we will make sure he gets his certificate. Thank you.
Thank you. The next award is for excellence in mentorship. I'm going to be joined up here by Val Maddox, who will co-present this award with me. So the Mentorship Award is a very important award. Excellence in mentorship, lost my place. This award recognizes an individual, a supervisor, a natural support coworker that has gone above and beyond to support, encourage, and foster success within that company for a person that SEEC supports. These actions highlight the critical roles that individual coworkers or supervisors play in ensuring the success of an inclusive workforce. Now I'm going to hand this over to Val, who will present the next award.
Good morning, everyone. Come on, we can do better than that. Good morning. It is truly an honor to stand before you to present this award, but I would ask for help from Mr. John Bogaski. So John is joining me because his current supervisor, who when John graduated from Project Search in 2016, this person was his first coworker, then she became his team lead, and now she is his manager. And by the authorization of John's mom, she is also his work mom. Yeah. So this person in December will have been with Smithsonian for 23 total years. So that speaks to the volume of her experience at the job. John is considered an essential employee, which means he had worked the entire time of COVID. Did not miss a beat. Transferring in by himself, taking public transportation, doing his entire duty. We are super proud of John. But as we know, the Smithsonian was shut down to just essential employees. So it was his manager who ensured his safety, ensuring that he got to work, he did his job, and she had him right by his side. Yeah. So when we speak to what mentorship is, she has been his mentor from the day he started and have gone the ranks. So Regina, Scott, would you please join us in receiving this award? There she is.
I really like working with her because she's a nice lady and she's a nice supervisor.
I just want to say thank you. I love working with her. He's always there and he's always on time. I wish I had more staff like him, always.
Thank you. We have a few other people in this category because this is a really important job, being a mentor, being a natural support in a workplace. One of the things that we do when we're looking for new places for people to work is we kind of eye that up. You know, how positive, how supportive is a work environment. So we want to congratulate a few other people. I know not everyone is here today. Again, Chris Riley, you want to come get your certificate? Yeah, you get a lot of recognition. And if any of you saw our LinkedIn post yesterday, you'd see him there too. Brian Harrison of Marriott, Gaithersburg, Washingtonian, I don't think is here today. It's been a very great support for someone named Nader that we support. And then Aaron Chambers at UPS. I'm not sure if you're here. For your support of Brett at UPS. We appreciate that. Val, if you'd like to join me again. My pleasure. The next award is what we call the Rising Star Award. And this award is for the employee. Because, you know, a job match doesn't start when it starts. It is a long-term thing, right? We want people to be successful on the job. We want them to advance in their career, to gain new skills, and to move forward. So we want to recognize those people that have been in those categories. So this award recognizes an individual employee supported by SEEC who has excelled and grown considerably over the course of the last year. This employee could have been recently hired or have worked in their employment for a long time. This success demonstrates that job matching is only half of the story. Excellence on the job deserves recognition. This year, Val.
Hello again. What an honor to be standing here twice. I didn't even introduce myself. I am Valeria Maddox, and I'm employment consultant at SEEC. I've been here, I guess it's been 7 years. What an honor, what a pleasure. I work with Project Search. So if you're not familiar, it's a program where we internship and people are employed. Well, I'm happy to introduce you to the 2022 Rising Star. This gentleman graduated from Project Search in 2019. And as we always share with parents and the individuals, employment is not guaranteed. It's about the work experience. Well, this gentleman graduated in 2019 and was not employed by Smithsonian. He took his work experience and worked at the Giant for a little while and called me and said, Miss Val, I just applied for a job at the Smithsonian and he was hired. He did it all on his own. He's been at the Smithsonian. His work shift is 11 in the afternoon to 7 in the evening. He too is considered an essential employee, so worked the entire time of COVID without a break, on his own, getting to work. During COVID, he obtained his driver's license. You're not hearing me? His driver's license, again, on his own. Miss Val, I'm gonna do it. We talked about it. He called me after, I think it was 2 tries, he got his driver's license. He then purchased his own car. So he has a car note, still working 11 to 7, nonstop. He's a go-getter, so he took his work experience. He came back to Smithsonian because that's where he wanted to work. So if you are ever at the American Indian Museum and on the 3rd floor, know that it's Mr. Taquan Carter who is keeping the building clean. To say anything. What about your new car, your driving? Oh, and I just got another text. He's going to be working part-time. Is it at UPS? Yeah. Never stop, never ending. So Taquan, know that today is the beginning of more beginnings, and you are truly a rising star. True awesomeness. That was awesome.
We love it. A couple other people, because we have a lot of people we support who are successful on the job. This year we would like to recognize Catherine Hanlon at Assisting Hands. Catherine, you're here. Catherine has been employed at Assisting Hands since 2021, May, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Another individual we'd like to recognize today is a rising star, truly a rising star, John Paul Lane. John Paul, I know you're here. John Paul was working recently at Benjamin Office Supply and Services, and now is working at Sandy Spring Bank.
Well, congratulations to everyone today. That's truly something special. I really did enjoy my time working at Benjamin Office Supplies. Let's see, where's Danny? There's Danny. Whenever I would have an issue, he would just be a phone call away, and I really appreciated that, he or his brother would help me out. And I still like doing impersonations of him too. No, I'm not doing one now. But I'm a big bike rider, and sometimes I ride my bike to the warehouse, and I stop and think about all the good times I had there. And I told him, if you ever need help, I'm always available. And it's just a wonderful place to work. With the two jobs, it was getting a little bit difficult, so I had to quit. And now I work at Sandy Spring Bank with John Roth, who's over there. And I keep him on his toes. My desk is right next to him. But yeah, he's just a great guy to work for, and we always have nice conversations. But yeah, I had some great experiences, working at different workplaces. It's just been, you learn a lot of things. And there's good times and there's bad times. It's a learning process. So, all right.
Thank you, John. That's why you're a rising star. Too many jobs. It's a good thing, right? So I was reminded that we did not introduce myself and Katie Smells, the employer outreach team, and I just want to say a couple of little words about that, because SEEC is really very fortunate to have a dedicated team such as Katie and myself, who what we do is we're doing employer outreach. We're finding opportunities, and it's something that we're grateful to have at SEEC, and I think it makes us even more special sometimes. I'm going to turn this over to Katie for the next award.
Okay, great. The next award is the Customized Employment Award. As Steve was saying earlier, customized employment is a way of personalizing the employment relationship between a candidate and an employer to meet the needs of both. When a worker uses their strengths and interests while also meeting the needs of the business, it's a home run for both. We'd love to honor them with a customized award, and this next award is a great example of this. Linda Copeland and Zakia Alexander, SEEC staff, will introduce the wonderful Jessica Lipscher in her glitter dress to give our next award.
Hello, I'm Zakia Alexander. I am Jessica's job coach, and I'm going to say a few words from my technology as well. So the Customized Employment Award recognizes an employer or a company that truly understands how customized employment can provide an inclusive pathway for all those seeking to enter the workforce and grow as professionals. This employer serves as a model of how to use customized employment to make their operations more inclusive, using their strengths and interests of a job seeker with a disability and ensuring that the employment meets the needs of the individual as well as the business. This award goes to Walter Swanson, Director of Kids Stop Child Development Center in Rockville.
Hello, my name is Lindy Copeland. I work in employment services as a regional employment coordinator. I'd like to introduce Jessica Lipsher, who will give the award. Jessica is a very talented young woman. She has been determined to work in her chosen profession, childcare. She got her Child Development Associate Education certificate and continues to pursue further education in the field that she loves. Her persistence has paid off in the position at Kids Stop, where she continues to thrive thanks to her determination in Walter. Jessica, in your own words, could you describe what you do at Kids Stop? Mr. Walter has been incredibly committed to expanding and strengthening my skills. Jessica. Sorry.
Good morning. I am Jessica Lipsher, and I would like to thank SEEC for recognizing my boss, Walter Swanson, with the Customized Employment Award, which I am honored to present. Working in childcare has always been my passion, but because of my disability, it can be challenging. Mr. Walter did not focus on my challenges, he focused on my ability. He has worked with me to customize my job as a teacher assistant to make sure that I am productive and engaged. I monitor my class on the playground, I read to them during soak time, and I help them with snacks and nap time. I love my job and I love the kids, particularly when they run up to hug me and call me Miss Jessica. Sometimes they take my walker for a spin, but they always bring it back when I ask them to. Customized employment allows people with disabilities like me to be included in the workforce. It gives me the chance to have my dream job and be a part of the Kids Stop KinderCare family. Thank you, Mr. Walter, for believing in me, and congratulations on this award.
First and foremost, I want to thank everyone here, but I think I also, actually I know I want to thank Jessica more than anything. I assumed the responsibility at Kids Stop KinderCare as a director in June of this year, and walking in, there were a lot of challenges, but one thing that I really do want to highlight is the word, inclusion. And it's something that we utilize in the child development arena, year round, because we work with children in every arena, behavioralistic, physical disabilities, as well as mental disabilities, in different areas. But it does not stop us from including them in everything that we're working on, everything that we do, curriculum, learning, and also activities. So upon meeting Jessica, this was a grand opportunity to show our team and our employees that inclusion does not stop with childcare. It continues throughout the rest of our life. And our team has been a grand welcome for Jessica. And I also wanted to kind of run down some numbers, because those are the things that we can actually prove. Family engagement has grown by 15% with working with Jessica, and this has just been utilizing her as a greeter for our program. Family engagement. Oh, go ahead. No, it's working. Family and program engagement, 38% has grown from June until this point, just by working with Jessica within the classrooms to show the families that our inclusion programs don't just stop at our children, but it goes as far as our team as well with our teachers. And then also, I think the biggest thing is employee engagement has grown by 51%, with Ms. Jessica being a part of our team and organizing our activities and our events for our employees and for our teachers, so that way they can have the opportunity to lesson plan, to game plan, and to also work within their classrooms. And Ms. Jessica's been a very, very, very instrumental part of that. So I'd like to also give Ms. Jessica a round of applause for it. She's helped me look so much better than my headshot, I promise you, right? And before I step away, I also want you all on the count of 3 to say congratulations to Ms. Jessica. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. She is receiving her 1 year of employment certificate from Singapore. So thank you all again. I appreciate it.
Wowie. We all decided we wanted Walter to be all of our best friends, so he's a wonderful person. Now we have we want to thank and congratulate Dawn Hipsley for her dedication and a certificate of customization for her employment of Clara. And she could not be here today, but we'll make sure she gets the certificate. Thank you, Dawn.
Wowie is right. That was amazing. Calm myself down. So we have one more award, and this one is called the Janet Alvondi Award. Steve, are you swanning around there? Well, I already started talking, so there you go. We kind of do that sometimes. This is a special award, and this award recognizes long-standing employees who have truly shown their hard work, determination, and dedication to their jobs and their employers. Janet was a former SEEC employee who spent her whole career pushing the inclusion of persons with disabilities and celebrating their achievements. It is why we renamed this award several years ago, and I hope she is looking down and smiling that beguiling smile every year as the winners are announced. I have the distinct honor to introduce the legendary Fatty J, to introduce and announce our joint award winners. Take it away, Fatty J.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Fatmata Shaw Nenebobo Adeshida. Don't go with that because it's too long. Everybody's calling me Fadi J, right? Okay, you know, a star is always a star, right? And SEEC is always SEEC. When you hear about SEEC, you hear about Fadi J. When you hear about Fadi J, they made me who I am, right? So I have been working with Graham and Kwan Lee for so long. They started working at Westart since January 15, 2008. They've been doing such a good job. And because of that, we thank Westart for their continuous support, for believing in us, and for believing with people with intellectual disability. These guys have worked so hard, and they are still there. That's all I can say. If you give a mic to MC to talk, I will continue. So because of this, I'm cutting it down. This will be a surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, Kwan Lee and Graham are receiving this award because of their hard working. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Kwan Lee and Graham.
Thank you, Westat.
I have Watson and my sister and Fergie, and I love you, my Fergie. Thank you, Fergie, and thank you. I love my sister. Thank you.
Want a hug?
Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Kwong. Thank you, Westat. We have a couple other recognition in this category. Zaman Shad has been working at Walgreens. Thank you, Zaman. Thank you, Walgreens. Would you like to say anything? Thank you.
Thank you.
We also recognizing Cameron Guzman, who's been working at DoubleTree Hotel Crystal City. Our next and our last award, I'm going to turn this over to Nancy Eby, our Program Director for Project Search.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I am not like Willow and Zakia. I'm not using technology this morning. I'm using good old-fashioned paper, which reminded me that probably really shows our age difference, right? So it is. But our final award of the morning, or final award winner of the morning, has been a SEEC and Project Search partner for 10 years now, which is really hard to believe, and I think probably we've known each other since I was 22, since it was 10 years ago. But Karen Hochberg with Montgomery County Government is being recognized today for her leadership and diversity as a key player with our partnership with Montgomery County Government and its agencies. I'll never forget the first time I met Karen. It was at new hire orientation for one of the first people that had been hired through our program. And her warmth, sincerity, and authenticity really shined through. And so when we got the call a couple of months later that she was going to be our business liaison, we all knew that we were going to be in really good hands. And we're really excited to work with Karen. So here we are 10 years later. And another fact is that we've become also friends through all of that. Karen brings a wealth of knowledge to her role, having been with the county for 20 plus years, and knowing the inner workings of many of the departments across the county government. This has allowed Karen to be really instrumental in developing internships and meaningful employment opportunities. Over the last 10 years, close to 90 interns have graduated from Project Search Montgomery County Government. Okay? And 60 of those graduates are now employed, whether it be with the county government or in the community. So, there you are. An even greater statistic is the overall retention rate of those 60 people that have been employed is close to 90%. So I know our employers here in the room would love to have a 90% retention rate, right? So Karen has been a member of our Business Advisory Council. She's helped with mock interviews. She's provided really valuable feedback to our job seekers and interns, but also to our team. She's someone that we can rely on to keep us on our toes and keep us honest. She reminds us of the business side of our work, and she challenges us to think differently, and for that we thank her for all of her hard work. Come on up here, Karen. So congratulations. Okay, so first I have to say, Nancy, you stole everything I was about to say. That's the really bad news. But the really good news is to say thank you to all of you. And I see so many Montgomery County Project Search alumni here. I just want to say it's amazing to see what an impact our program has had. So for all of you, all of the Project Search folks, so glad you've been part of the program. To Nancy, Steve, Karen, everybody, it has really been just an amazing opportunity to be part of SEEC, part of the SEEC family. And I do want to just share my perspective on the day that I met Nancy. So about 10 years ago, which is very hard to believe that we have been in this role for so long, I was doing new employee orientation. I am part of the Office of Human Resources for Montgomery County government. I took on another role, unbeknownst to me and Nancy. When I showed up at orientation, Nancy was there with one of our Project Search interns that had been hired. I had this immediate connection to her. Had no idea who she was, why she was there. She had no idea really what I was about to embark on. And I have to say it's been the most amazing relationship for the past 10 years. So I want to say thank you, all of you, for this recognition. I hope I'm not working another 10 years, but if I am, I hope I'm part of this great organization. Thank you. I will just add that we hope you are with us for 10 more years, Karen. We're winding down the show now, our presentation this morning. But before we close out, there are several other local inclusion leaders in the audience or not able to be here today. So I'd like to recognize our partners with Project Search, Marianne Sifrinko with NIH, Karen Hochberg, who obviously just got her recognition, and Ashley Grady with the Smithsonian Institution. Without our business liaisons, we could not do the work that we do, and so we're just so grateful for them. None of these sites would also be possible without our school partners at Ivy Mount. So great to see you this morning, Lenny. So Lou Merrick and Susan Holt, and also our partners at DCPS, Wendy Parker and Ashley Roney. We'd also like to thank Stacy Herman, sometimes my partner in crime, with Kennedy Krieger. She's our partner leading the statewide Project Search collaborative effort and has really brought our group together over the past couple of years because there are 14 Project Search programs across the state of Maryland. And so we're really trying to collaborate and work together and look at best practices for our programs and post-programs. I'd also like to thank our funding partners at RSA and DOORS. So, not sure if anybody from DOORS is here or RSA. Then I also have the honor of doing the last introduction for Karen Lee, our Executive Director. SEEC has been making a difference in people with disabilities, their lives for 35 years. And 32 of those years, SEEC has been ably led by Karen Lee. Karen's vision ensures that all persons that SEEC supports have clear paths to truly inclusive, truly meaningful, and truly purposeful lives. Her passion for equal rights of individuals with the most significant disability really pushes us all to work harder and smarter. And if that wasn't enough, if leading 200 staff, a $20 million budget, nonprofit budget, wasn't enough, Karen took on the role with the state a few years back to create a dynamic employment-first strategic platform that is fundamental to Maryland becoming one of the most inclusive and progressive states in the nation. On top of this, Karen is also a nationally recognized subject matter expert in customized employment, and there are many weeks throughout the year you can see her, she's traveling, consulting, and training across the country, or doing webinars like you were doing earlier this week. Karen's pursuit for increased inclusion pushes her every day and ensures that SEEC maintains a clear vision of customized, integrated employment for all. So, Karen, you want to come over? Yep.
Thank you. So I'll be brief to say that when I started at 32 years ago, of course everybody knows I was 12, at SEEC, we supported 10 people, and I was the job coach and the comptroller and the payroll specialist and the job developer and the nurse. I did it all, I mean, of course. And one of the things that I've learned throughout my career at SEEC is that when you do good work, good people want to come and work with you, right? And when you do have good people, you can have a really strong, solid mission. And when you have that strong, solid mission and you live it every day, then more good people want to come and work with you. And when you have more good people, you get to do really good work. And that's what's happened at SEEC in the last 32 years, is this cycle of doing better work, bringing on better people, and doing, having a stronger, clearer mission. And I just want to thank everybody who's here today. I would like for 1 second for my board of directors to stand up, if you could. There's a number of you in the audience today, so thank you. They really set the strategic tone of the organization. They help me and guide us through this process, and I serve at their pleasure. So thank you to your leadership and vision as well. It's greatly appreciated. But again, it is the people in this room. We've learned so much through the years about employer partnerships. It has to be reciprocal. Any relationship that lasts has got to be reciprocal. It means that you as an employer get as much as the employee gets out of it. That's how you have low retention. That's how you have low vacancy rates, is there making sure that there's a good reciprocal partnership. And we certainly do that with our employers and our employer partners, as well as our job seekers. So thank you to the employers. Help us to continue. If you have a friend, if you know somebody that you think, your job is not to think of what it is that somebody with a disability can do for your organization. That's not your job. All you have to do is answer the call and let us in, and our wonderful employment engagement team will come out. They'll figure that out for you. They'll help you think through that. You don't have to think through that. So all we need is that warm lead. All we need is that partnership. All we need is that good relationship so that we can do more good work. So thank you very much to everybody for being here today. Thank you to our award winners and to the team. And I'm going to pass it back over to the MC Steve.
Thank you, Karen, and thank everybody for your patience. We have one last story which we're going to tell through a video here. This is going to be a lovely video highlighting the relationship we've had with Benjamin Office Supply and Services. Danny and Josh and John talked about this. This is a great group who've been supportive of not only employment, but supportive of us as an organization. And I don't know if this is a sneak peek. It's kind of out there in the public already, but this will be a great story for you guys to leave. Uplifting moments. Thank you, everybody, for this wonderful, wonderful morning. Listen in.
So my name is Danny Benjamin, and I'm the president of Benjamin Office Supply. And I got connected through SEEC, through a mutual friend, Robert Scott. And he connected me with a great guy with a great beard, Steve Lance. The reason this program was successful is because of the people that represented SEEC and Benjamin. To make these types of programs work, the company and the organization both have to be intentional about wanting it to work. The added benefit that SEEC does provide is they do a stuff that you would need to do internally. SEEC was able to provide a couple different candidates during the process of finding someone to run the warehouse in the morning. John Lane was someone that really impressed me from the beginning of our interviews. I've interviewed a couple people in my day, and right from the start, he said how he had looked at our Google reviews and started mentioning employees in our conversation, which I thought was really special and different than the majority of people I interview on a daily basis.
Hi, I'm John Lane. I work at Benjamin Office Supplies and Services Incorporated. I am manifest supervisor. I am in charge of getting everyone out the door on time. I am in charge of typing in the number of boxes that they have so we know how many packages they have for that particular client. I also make sure that they have the correct tickets that correspond to their day's work. So if they miss a ticket the previous day, I have to add it on.
It's really putting a puzzle together in the morning, and he does troubleshoot a lot of the things that happen. It's an on-the-fly type of job. And I mean, we were able to get out quicker, or just as quick as anyone that's ever been in the role, which is really the most important part, which is getting these guys out to go see those customers that want their product.
Well, the culture at Benjamin Office Supply is we are, one big happy family. We look out for each other and we support each other. Some places you make a mistake and the boss will use you a hard time, but here, if you make a mistake, you just correct it and move on. We don't really dwell on making mistakes.
The misconception or the myth was that, well, I don't know if someone with a disability is going to be able to do this job. And he delivered time and time again. And when he didn't know something, I told him to call me. I told him to call my brother. And we're much a very family-oriented company. We do run our family business, but SEEC had a team that was able to come in and work with our team about what was going to make sense for John in the morning to be successful. And SEEC didn't stop until we felt it was the right time, and we didn't stop. It goes both ways. We've had people work here for 35 years. We believe in people. So as long as you see that someone wants to do a good job, you find that they're going to do it as long as you give them the tools.
All right, go home, people. Take some breakfast with you. Beanbag Deli provided the breakfast this morning. Please take some. And those with needing boxes, we have boxes for 2 of them. I don't know. Take one.
That's going to take forever, dude.
Oh, you
Yeah.